Well, I've been involved with Occupy since the last week of October. And so this for me is the culmination of all of what it's about, celebrating freedom and expression and gathering and love and all that, because it's important that you keep the line of communication open between human souls, And that's going to help us clean up this mess, that we're in now. So that's what it's about. Communication of the human soul. I did this dramatic karaoke. It was an awesome idea. I was like with some friends, and we were joking around and saying the lyrics, at first, I was afraid. I was petrified. Just kept thinking about you not by myself. Yeah, it was kind of that kind of thing, joking with friends. So tonight I thought, oh my God, dramatic karaoke, I gotta do this. So I did. It was Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade, I didn't know the words, I don't know the words, but it was like, come with it now, come with it now, come with it now, something like that. I wish I could remember the words, but it ended with Bulls on Parade, which is so funny, because the Bears, the Bulls, Wall Street, so yeah. It was the line about the rubbles, the burning of the books in a library. I thought it was so relevant to what was happening with the raid and everything. Yeah. It's free for everyone in the public space. It's okay, Remember, well, maybe you don't remember. I don't remember. Back in the 1600s, in the Shakespearean times. And they would travel around and present stories and plays and things like that for the people. And they were kind of looked down upon, they were actors. And but back then, they were going back to the roots, free for the people. So that's what I'm thinking. It's the same thing with Occupy. That's what it's about. Coming together, freedom of expression and peace. People to assemble, freedom of the press, all that First Amendment that you keep reading every hour. The day of action on November 17th, I was involved in the march there, and I was actually right at the barricade. And this police officer kind of was talking to me, and, I tried to put on a peaceable face, trying to be the peaceable face. And, yeah, he was hot. He was saying, hey, wait a minute, the iPad, wait a minute, isn't that about corporation? And I said, yeah, it is, but it's not so much about being anti-corporation than about being anti-greed. And he was like, so do you have an iPhone? And I said, no, I happen to have a Droid. And I'm just kind of telling him about, my personal reason for being involved. And it's funny because it was interesting because I could see he was actually thinking and listening, about the good points. He didn't think I was one of those wild protesters. I actually had a point. I got a text from a friend in Occupy Boston saying that the raid was happening. And at that point, they shut down the subways and they closed down the airspace of the press, and it was freaking me out, Subway shut down, airspace closed. What the hell's going on down there at Zuccotti Park? And all the hell was breaking loose, and all I had was sticking through to the live feed and all, and I just couldn't sleep that night. I just couldn't sleep. So by the morning, it was around 10 o'clock, and I said, okay, I'm going to go down there to the park. So I went down there. And I was standing there, and I was walking along the sidewalk, taking pictures and stuff, and this cop was going, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. So I thought to myself, I wonder if he'll tell me to keep moving if I'm standing there talking to a police officer. So, one of the officers in the riot gear and didn't have his visor up, so I just went up to him and, talked to him and said, hey, the court said that we can go ahead and be in the park. And I was talking to the police officer really politely, and I said, why exactly are we not allowed in the park? Because we have the court order saying that, restraining order and everything was allowing us to go back to the park. And he was like, well, we can't just let you guys in. You got to get our orders. And I was like, okay, totally reasonable. Okay, I understand that. So it was frustrating because you know what? They really don't know. You can be an autonomous human being and just let us in. Just open the barricades, and just let the people in and just shout, no! But I get it. I get where he was coming from. And I was asking him, so the whole thing for us is we have the right to assemble. If you just tell us where to go to assemble and gather. And he was like, I don't know. And some other guy came by and he said, man, if you tell us where to go, we'll go there. And the officer was just kind of feeling bad for us, Like, yeah, you're right, you have a problem. He actually recognized that we had a problem. In this country, we have to keep coming together and keep talking because it's the only way to communicate and keep the lines open and sharing ideas and knowledge, so the information can get to the people. Well, this guy was telling me, and he's right, he said the other night, the cops in the park, they were creating fascist theater, standing around looking, menacing. Oh yeah, oh yeah, fascist theater. Because it's intimidation, it's psychological, and they're just trying to put their game on us, trying to play us. But they're the ones that are afraid. They're afraid. It's so curious to me. I don't understand why they feel the need to bring out riot police when there's not one. I mean, especially at this point. Look, I guess in the beginning, okay, I understand maybe in the beginning, on the day of action, oh sure, geez, we might need riot police around, but you can see there's nothing going on. We're not throwing things, we're not charging at you, we're not being violent. Once you see that, you should take into account that there isn't a need. And would change a lot of the atmosphere, a lot of the tension, a lot of the animosity against them, against us. If they would just tone down that theater. It's almost like I live and breathe it because it's just, it's just Occupy is about the issues that are being raised, It's always on my mind. Not Occupy itself, but, how the world can be a better place, how can I make a contribution, more so than ever now. It's always been a part of me, but not like it is today. I'm so confused, I'm sorry. I'm just trying every day. Every day I'm occupied. My mind is occupied.